And hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. I hope y'all are feeling amazing and doing amazing. And if not, it's okay. It's all right, my friend. Bad times will last forever. After every storm, there is a rainbow. And you're getting closer and closer every day to yours. Okay? So today's vibe of the day is kind of different because I'm introducing vibing out with guests, and I'm so super excited because you guys have been on my back nonstop about, can we get on there, can we see other people, can we hear, whatever the case may be. So y'all wish is my command. So without further ado, I already gave y'all a rundown, couple episodes on what vibing with guests is. So I'm gonna just give y'all a little rundown again. Vibing out with guests, it has the opportunity for guests to come on to talk about anything they want to talk about for 30 to an hour, minute long, however they prefer, to just talk about anything impacting education or wellness and things like that. So without further ado, before we get into it, I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing our voice. And today, my first guest is my photographer who helped us do the rebrand for Vibing with E for this year, and also did a little helping with the rebrand for Vibing Out with Guests. So without further ado, I introduce you to one of my favorite photographers.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Solid, I can't complain.
So, tell the people about yourself. A little insight. They know of you from taking the pictures and a little sidebar put on there. And they was like, how you gonna tell him not to be booked up? Because, come on now.
No, well, business is definitely going well. My name's Devin, Small Army Photography, Instagram. Currently I am managing Lux Content Studio. I build sets, do photography, video, set design, anything that has anything to do with media, I'm on it. And yeah, it's my passion, it's my superpower. I'm able to freeze time and make those moments last forever. So yeah, it's something I'm real proud of, and everything's going well.
And he really good, y'all, like real good. Y'all see them pictures?
Appreciate
them
you.
Vibing with Eve pictures, because it took a lot for out of me to find somebody that could take those pictures and to help me bring my vision to life. And that's a good thing too about photographers. Y'all have the power to bring visions to life.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Savannah also behind the camera, because
Shout out.
bringing visions to life, that's like a lot. It's not just boom, like it's really like you have to brainstorm, break this down, make sure this is also what the client wants as well as for y'all, because y'all behind the lens.
Absolutely.
So
We always want to break into our creativity side, and then also make sure that the client gets exactly what they want. So yeah, bringing that vision to life and the gratification you get from it is extraordinary. Because a lot of people can't do it, or a lot of people don't know how to go about doing it. So being able to assist and make that happen is absolutely gratifying. Yeah.
That's really good. So, in the month of February, we're doing Black History Month and also honoring love. So, earlier you wanted to talk about like counseling, and that's a real big one, especially within our community. We have this thing where we don't need counseling, but at times we do. And like most people that are new here or not, most people that are new here, I'm real big on wellness and education, especially wellness, because we go through a lot. The ones that are not new to this knows I'm real big too. Even like with me working with children and stuff, I even tell them, look, don't be afraid to ask for help, especially adults, because like we all go through stuff.
Absolutely.
So this episode and today's appearance will just talk about like counseling and why is it important to get counseling, and like just telling our story on how it is for us, like from just going to counseling and everything. So the floor is yours.
No, absolutely. I think counseling is something that Black people as a whole have been missing out on for a very long time. It's one of those secrets that's not really necessarily a secret, but when you're growing up, it's kind of shunned upon. We grow up in a different society with different perspectives of life, and of course our parents, they had it tough, and then the ones before them, the generation before them had it even more, even worse than ours did. So, but I think it's a stigma. It's like, it's something that's overlooked, and it's something that in our community, when you talk about counseling, oh, you don't need counseling, just suck it up, get over it. You know what I mean? You'll be all right. That's what they say. That ain't nothing but a Tuesday afternoon for us. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, it's healthy to get those things out to someone with a non-biased opinion, and they're able to push you in the right direction to get your mental health on track. Because we all about looking good and smelling good, and the way that we appear to the public, but how do we appear to ourselves? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you might be going out Louis Vuitton bags, Prada, all this other stuff, but you go home and you feel like, can you curse on here?
Yeah.
You get home and you feel like shit. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't have that sense of self, that a lot of people are missing. And I think it's very important to go out and figure out how to find yourself first, because we so focused on impressing everybody else. But again, when you get home, you're not impressed with yourself. You know what I mean? You got all this doubt and regret for buying everything that you done bought, and it didn't get you nowhere, and all you did was line somebody else's pockets, and at the end of the day, you really got to get yourself on the forefront and take care of your mental health. I think that's one of the most important things, if not the most important thing that we can do as human beings, period.
I think, also think about it, like, the pandemic struck the nerve a lot with people when it comes to mental health, because everybody's mental health was not good. Like, depression, anxiety, it was so much. And then during that time too, that's what it also made me understand, like, look, I need to take pride in my mental health, because it was going through so much. School, then working, then the COVID. So it's like, it's been times where the new word now is to crash out. And I was like, I can't have these crash out moments no more, because it's taking over you. And if you don't have a steady balance within your mental health, it's like, you're screwed.
Right, that 30 to 30 seconds don't mean nothing. You don't crash out over anything, and it's definitely, I like the term, because it seems appropriate for certain situations. However, it's definitely something we shouldn't be doing at all. We should always be able to control ourselves mentally and our emotions, and and we should be always determine our own outcomes. So that therapy and just focusing on yourself, and eating right, and it's a collective. It takes a lot just to get your mental where it's supposed to be, because it's not just how you think, it's the things you put into your body, that have you thinking different ways. And it's a work. It's work for sure. It is.
Like, when I started the podcast, I was like, I'm gonna focus on. I started out talking about any and everything, but then I remember I did the first episode on men's mental health, and a lot of men reached out to me, black men. I was shocked. They was like, as you being a woman and being able to help us understand and be there for us, it's a lot, because a lot of men don't have that support, especially black men. Like, I'd be like, because they'd be like, a lot of men be like, I grew up, suck it up. But now this generation is like, we can't suck it up no more. It's like, you got to talk to somebody. If not, you're going to crash.
It's a mental disaster every day.
Very.
All these plane crashes going on, you know what I mean? Like, before that, like you said, we had COVID. So, you just stuck in the house and
looking at four wall.
Right, you get stuck in that box, a mental box, and it's time that we as a black people, we get out of that and start searching ourselves, because we go searching for love so much that you end up not loving yourself at the end of the day, and not knowing how to love yourself, because they say that, I remember a therapist, I was watching something one day, and she said, how you grow up and your mother always telling you, clean your plate, clean your plate, clean your plate. That's even that little thing that's always sticking with you, because then you have kids later on and you clean your plate. She full. He full, dog. Like, I mean, they made too much food for him. You know what I mean? Like, stop making adequate portions, and that's how you gotta play it in life. You you give yourself adequate portions. You know what I mean? Something that you can handle one at a time instead of trying to overload yourself all the time, and then you end up just full, tired, beat, and you don't feel like doing nothing after that.
Yeah, and that impacts wellness a lot. Like
Facts.
being lazy, it's just like your mindset lazy. And sometimes people be like, I'm lazy, but my mindset not. I'm like, how is that possible?
Right.
I feel like when I'm lazy, it's like I can't get nothing done. Nothing will get done. I have to push myself. Like I can't stay stagnant.
Right.
One thing about me, I can't stay stagnant. Like I gotta look, something happened. All right, backup plan. You know, you gotta. Right. And I'm a real two-sided person and real deep thinker too. So it's like, okay, if this don't work, I got a backup plan. Sometimes we want to go with that. Okay, this gonna work, but then it's like things happen
all the time.
It happens. But it's like, you know, you got to make sure you have backup plans. That plan B, C, D, all those. Sometimes I never forget. I had a conversation with my classmates. They was like, I don't want that plan B, plan C. This plan got to work. Yeah, but sometimes things happen.
Right, you got
like it happens, and like, you know, mentally you can be so drained, and physically it's like I'm getting it done, but it's like sometimes you can crash.
Facts.
They crash. So.
Niggas say it was crashing out, but yeah, you crash hard. It's almost like that sugar rush. You know, like you ready, you going throughout the day, but once you sit still, you done. You know what I mean? You got it, but like you said, progress is an action word because it's all about motion. You got to keep moving, keep pushing forward, and that's the only way you're gonna get to the goals that you're looking for.
Yeah,
you know?
And I'm real big on saying that process too, because we say we want things, but it's like we say, but we're not doing it. Right. That blueprint is very, very important. Absolutely. I'm real big on the blueprint. Like, okay, yeah, you can say it and manifest it, but with that blueprint to map out everything.
Right.
You know, I put the blueprint, manifest it, and I put in the work, and then you see it. And then that's where the short-term and long-term goals come in. Absolutely. And I had to learn the hard way. You cannot keep predicting on long-term goals. That's why we had them short-term.
Right.
Because that mess you up mentally, too. Like, I'll never forget, I told my counselor, I was like, yeah, I set these goals for myself, but then I work myself up because I don't see it happening.
Right.
And the thing was, she told me that I need to relax. When you a person that's like, okay, I got this, I'm gonna get this, that can strike your nerves too.
Right, because how can I relax if
I'm just like, I gotta get this done. This gotta get done. It's gonna get done. And I don't like procrastinating. Right. That's like automatic hell no. Procrastinate, I cannot stand it. Like my friends be like, wow, you want to procrastinate? And it's like, once you procrastinate, your thoughts is like, you putting whatever out there. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not, no, because that's not me.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not into it. And then my mind is like, get it over with. But when I'm there, it's like, and I have it, okay, I'm there. But sometimes you do get a headache too. But it's like, I keep thinking it's all going to pay off in the end.
For sure.
It's going to pay off.
And that's one thing that my uncle taught me, something that stuck with me many years, is that, you know, proper planning prevents poor performance. You know, those 5 P's. So it's like, always, you know, set your goal, set the plan, get your blueprint, you know what I mean, and just stick to it. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to push you to do it. You got to do it on your own. You know what I mean? You're not going to have no support out here unless it's somebody that you genuinely have that connection with. And, you know, then of course, you know, they help you out every once in a while. But people can only do so much, so you got to do for yourself before, you know, anybody else can. And like you said, just stay on track. And I don't like that. That's staying stagnant. I'm not getting nothing done, procrastinating. You know, like once I get up in the morning, all right, let me get these girls get the girls' room clean, get the laundry done, you know, things like that. And if I sit still for too long, the next thing you know, I'm on the couch for the whole day and I gotta wait till tomorrow.
It goes it go by so fast. Like even when you're sick.
Yes.
Even when you're sick, it's like your body telling you need to quit. I'd be like, no, I don't know what you doing. We're going to take these meds, Robitussin, we're going to get this done.
Yeah, this got to get up out of me. I got things to do.
But
you know, it's a mission always. It's always a mission that we got, you know, that we got in hand. But yeah, it's, like you said, you can't sit still. You got to keep pushing that therapy and figuring out, you know, how your body's going to, react to certain things, or how your mind reacts to certain things. You got to be self-aware of all those things. So, because you always got to keep that goal in mind.
Yeah.
And I completely feel that 1,000%. I've been in therapy for 7 years. So
And that's what I was about to ask. So that's what we get into more deeper into the counseling and therapy. What made you really realize, okay, I need to go to therapy? Because, sometimes we have those things where, all right, I'm be fine. When you said the support too, I call them the reasons. They got your reasons and your seasons.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, I got my reasons. They helping me. But then it's like, something they're helping, but it's not enough.
Right.
Like, you can never have too much help, especially with something dealing with your wellness. So, and it's an educational purpose. So what made you be like, all right, yeah, it's time to go see somebody?
Actually, a friend of mine was like, you know what, man, I grew up in Baltimore City. I'm 37 years old. West Baltimore. You tend to see a lot of things. And my father got killed in 2009. So that was like one of the heavier hitting moments of my life. You know what I mean? Like, I never passed out a day in my life until I got that knock on the door, and they were like, yeah, this is what happened. This is what went down. And, even then it was like, I'm gonna be all right. I'm cool. I had a motorcycle. I just go get on that, go 200 miles an hour, kind of get it out that way. Just that thrill overwhelms the sadness and the pity and all that, and but it's just a blocker for the moment. So it's not getting down to the root cause. And then I lost my grandfather.
Oh.
And he was more influential than my father was, throughout my life, because my father was more like a best friend. And you know how they treat black men in the city, so get caught with a dime bag, they separating you from your family. You know what I mean? So he in and out of my life during time, and so my grandfather was a big impact, and that was what hit me the most.
Wow.
And at that point it was like, let's try to get this fixed. And a friend of mine was like, you need to go to therapy. I'm not doing no therapy now. I'll be all right. Just keep my chin up. Can't nobody touch me. I'm cool. But at the end of the day, they like, no, like, I've been doing it for years. Like, I think this is something that'll be real beneficial for you. Just try it out. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. You got insurance? Yeah, I got insurance. Get your ass in therapy then. You know what I mean? It's covered. Like, you're not even gonna have to come out of pocket. You're gonna be all right. Cool. Tried it out the first time. And like we spoke earlier, that first time, that first conversation is wild. You know what I mean? Like, just because that's when they want to know about you and, tell me everything that's going on. And when you finally start talking to somebody that you don't know, who has that unbiased opinion, and you know that their job is to help you get to the next step in life, that first conversation can hurt. You don't realize how much you got on your chest until you start talking, and then next thing you know, you can't stop talking. And now you got tissues. Oh man, like I don't even know you like that, dog. But I needed to get that off my chest for a long time, and you're like, yeah, you did that. Like, let me give you some homework. You know what I mean?
Don't start with the homework.
That's big. That the homework is big. You know what I mean? Just little tiny tasks to complete throughout the week. And to the next time we meet again. Just try using this kind of body language. Try speaking this way. Take these terms out of your vocabulary. You know what I mean? Like, and you'll see your life starts to transform and change, and you'll start getting into the circles you want to be in. Get away from these type of people, because this person, they don't want nothing for you. Misery love company.
Very.
So it's that moment where, and then you start talking to your friends. You talk, I'm in therapy now. Baltimore, we always
like,
Jones and the next one. I mean, you dawning on him. You know what I mean? He joking, and everybody want pack you up. I guess you could say. But it's like, hey, bro, we can do a group session today.
Right, because it's needed. Like, you laughing, but I'm
for real
serious. Like, we all go through things. And also, too, like, for me, going to a HBCU, going to Morgan and learning about the black family and stuff, the saying, you got to keep this in the family. Certain stuff is like, I got to get out because it repeats the cycle. Right. Sometimes the cycle repeats. Like, I'll never forget, I went to counseling. It took me till I went to Morgan to go to counseling. And it's like a lot. Like you said, definitely, it hit so hard. Like, middle school, when I was in 7th grade, I lost my uncle. It took a lot out of me to just understand things. Then my grandfather, then my aunt who stepped up when my grandmother passed when I was younger. So it was a lot. It's a lot.
Absolutely.
And then like just being a black person, period, and going to school, working, trying to make something out of yourself, that's a lot.
It is.
Because
it is.
People
Absolutely.
be looking at you like, why you want to do all this? You want better for yourself, like the stagnant. You don't want to stay stagnant. Right. You don't want to stay in that bubble that everybody want to put you in. And I'll never forget when I went to counseling, I told her, like, I just felt like sometimes I don't fit in.
Right.
But she was like, why you want to fit in? And it's like, even when I was little, I never fit in. Never. I was like weird, nerdy. And now I'm older, I'm like, I'm glad I'm not fitting in, because everybody trying to be like everybody is not. It's not like, what's the trend? Right. I'd rather be different. When you be different, it's like, okay.
It's nothing unique about being like everybody else on the block. You know what I mean? Like, and that's another big thing too, because you just mentioned that, like, oh yeah, some things you're supposed to keep in the family and all. No, the whole family need therapy. You know what I mean? If you ever facing something like that with people telling you this is family business, then you know what? You're toxic. And I use that word very lightly, because I feel like it's overused for a lot of the wrong situations. Yeah. But toxic family is
it's for real. It's
real.
For real.
You know what I mean? And they really do exist. And a buddy of mine told me, and my therapist told me as well. She said, when you're growing up and you're small, and you might have been a badass kid, you know what I mean? But every kid, they just want to explore, and it's just the perception of everybody else looking at you. But when you're growing up, people already have a mindset of what you are and how you're going to turn out.
Yes.
So when you get older and it's not panning out in their head how you were supposed to be, then they're not supporting you. They don't have nothing else for you. You know what I mean? They're not going to help you with nothing because they've been wrong for years. You know what I mean? And your whole mission should be to prove everybody wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be something better than what you projected me to be. So
yeah,
absolutely.
That's the thing right there. Like you mentioned too. Like it drives me off the wall how you make a prediction of like a child. Like, okay. Like, even in school, when they do with the little kids, like, oh, when he grow up, he gonna be in the street. It's like, how can you have that theory if this child is just, 5-10 years old? Right. Like, they don't really know much until I give a child probably, like, to middle school. For me, that's when life hit. That's when you notice, that's when you understand self-esteem,
right,
self-awareness, and all that. And then for me, going back to my old school and being able to teach the kids the same things I did, it's like, yeah, it's going to take them time.
Absolutely.
Because they're even learning now, like, self-affirmation. They didn't know what that was. They don't know what their favorite word was. Crash out. I was like, do you even know what that is? Right. And when you break it down to them, it's like, really? Like, dead headlights. So yeah. It's like mental plays a long and big game for everyone.
Right.
Like every episode I have for like mental, I try to break it down for everyone because we all go through it. Sometimes too, growing up, your parents be like, what's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with you. You go through stuff too.
Right. I give you something to cry about.
Yeah, like which stuff is like down, like especially being in Baltimore. I was born and raised in Baltimore. I see it. And then going to school in Baltimore City and stuff. Like when I was in high school, I said I do not want to go to school back in the city. Yeah. I just couldn't take it no more.
Especially when I saw some of the other schools.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go out there. They was like, nah, we fought hard to get you into city college.
Like, yeah.
But I can go out Hereford and not have to worry about anything. You know what I mean? Like, respectfully, like, because it's a smart school. It's a blue ribbon school. But at the end of the day, like, we still in the hood, you know what I mean? Like, and you still gotta look over your shoulders when you leave up out of here. Like,
yeah,
there's still school police officers here, you know what I mean? We didn't have metal detectors or nothing like that, but schools down the street did, Lake, Maryville, all them spots, you know what I mean? Like, shout out to all them, because at the end of the day, I wish I did go to Maryville and just learn a trade.
That's
instead of,
crazy, because I want it backwards. I went to Parkville, and it was like a whole nother world, literally a whole nother like High School Musical world. Yeah. Came back in the city for Mervo, I was over it. I wanted to go back so bad, but it's like it's like you can't run away from what you know, but it's like you can make it out of it though.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy. I was like, all right, I went to county, went to school in the county again. It wasn't how I thought it was, but I got that degree, came back, and went to school back in the neighborhood for Morgan. And it's like, it's still a total different world.
Right.
But it's like, I'm still here.
Absolutely.
Mentally, it's like, wow, this is really, I was like, I don't know if I'm happy for it or not, but physically, it's like, I'm here. It's gonna get done.
I'm amongst my people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm amongst, because like earlier when I was talking to Savannah about it, I was like, it's crazy when like, you know, African American people go to PWIs. It's like, it's gonna be a good or a bad experience.
Yeah.
And then you be like, dang. Because sometimes they understand, like we understand each other sometimes, and it's like, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like, you gotta do this for you.
Right. And understanding and knowing is two different things. You know what I mean? Like, so when you're amongst your own, it's like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you go out to these other institutions and it's like, oh, I understand. Yeah, you understand, but you don't know the severity of, you know, the situation or, you know, how it plays out for me on a day-to-day basis. You may understand, but you don't have that deep knowledge of what's going on. You just getting the coat top, you know, like
that little surface level. Okay,
right.
Oh, this is what happens over there. This what goes.
And you have no idea, nor any intention on figuring out how you know it got that way. So I think it is important. I mean, HBCUs are definitely something that we all need. I mean, and getting there at a later point in life when you're able to understand the diversity amongst everybody in the world and you know how everything works and. Yeah, getting amongst your own folks and at that older age, I think is very important. Because right now I'm looking at like, what's that, Garrison Park? I think that preparatory school, all-girls school for my daughter. And, you know, they want $31,000 a year. She only in kindergarten right now, and it only go up every year, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I want you in that school. They riding horses, you know what I mean? They do 20 miles a year walking amongst the campus, like outside classes. You're not getting that in no city school.
Heck no.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be the same. And they deserve that as children, I think, because that's where it all starts. You know, we deserve to see the world as a whole and then later on find out about our own, because then it'll make more sense because you got a round understanding, you know, a full understanding of everything that's going on, just not in your world, but everybody else's.
Yeah.
See that other side and where you want to be, you know? And it's a goal setter as well.
It is. Now I understand. When I was growing up, like in the neighborhood, kids in the neighborhood, I used to be like, okay, it's a school right here. It's a neighborhood school. Why y'all mother taking y'all to private schools and stuff? But now I understand it's like, you know, you gotta, there's different educational ways, and then to learn different ways, because private school is good. It's good. It's just so much money though.
It is, yeah, and depending on what kind of school it is, for sure. But like right now, like my look, I'll listen to my kids on Disney and you know Kids Bop type. I know all the Disney songs. Like I don't listen to 92Q, 95.9, none of that, because my one day, what you want? You want something to drink? Yeah. What you want? Make me water. I'm like, how you know this song? Like, and I go back, I'm like, that's a catchy song, but I listen to the lyrics, and I'm like, oh, hell no. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because she don't know what she's saying. You know, but at the end of the day, we're not doing none of that. So, yeah, it's Disney songs, and I might even throw in a little country every now and then, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's a different world, but you can't control what the other kids learn, you know what I mean?
No.
So, yeah, like she'll curse and complete innocence, you know what I mean, and not know what she's saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, say that again? She'll say it again, clear as day. And I'm like, you don't say that. You hear that at? Oh, was that such and such? But, you know, some parents go home and let their kids listen to Cardi B. I ain't telling nobody how to listen.
Yeah.
You know, I don't tell nobody how to raise their children, but you know, you gotta let the kids be kids and grow up into that, because that's how I was raised. You know, like I knew all the slow jams. You know, V103, Frank Ski in the Morning back in the day. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I'm listening to all these songs. I ain't had no business listening to songs. You know what I mean? And that helped shape the person that I started to become, you know? Because, yeah, by the time I'm 16, 17, I think I'm casting over. You know what I mean? Like, I know all, you know. Yeah, I know exactly what you want. But, yeah, at the end of the day, no, I should have been living a different lifestyle and and focusing on different things instead of what they just project in our neighborhoods, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'll never forget too. What's the saying? If you judge me from being from somewhere, you won't understand who I am. Like,
Right.
when I went to CCBC, I'll never forget, out Essex, I was the only, I want to say, full black girl in my class. It was probably 2 other ones, but they weren't like, they're black, but they wasn't like in the city black.
Right.
That's where it get down dirty. They county girls. So I'm like, I'm telling them stories like, you know, like the riot and stuff. They was like, oh my God. I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, you're black like me. But I'm like, you know what? Times is different. They weren't exposed to certain stuff. Like, you know, some of them was like, I don't know how the conversation got onto like the discipline with whippings and stuff. They was like, I never got that. I don't know what that is.
Right.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, it'd be crazy too. Like, people that look like you, they didn't experience a lot of stuff like you did. I'd be like, so you never like, you know, experienced death? Like some of my friends too, I'd be like, y'all haven't experienced death that much? It's like, no. And like, you would think in a black household, because it's like, it's not every time, but here and there, it's like somebody's dying. I was like, out of all my friend groups, it was like months apart from my family, it was like people was dying. They was like, I never went to a funeral. I said, my first funeral was, I was 3 when my grandmother passed. I said, really? So like when you sit there, and I'm like, and we all from Baltimore City, and it's just like, how is that possible? And
it's crazy because you'll see how it shapes. It's almost like an experiment. You know what I mean? Like, you'll see how it shapes the child until growing into that adult. You know what I mean? And it's 2 different people.
Yeah.
Like, it's what was that? Westmore. 2 Westmores. Man, yeah, I read that book a while ago, and you know, it's you know, both from the same hood, a couple blocks over, but one of them went one way and he ended up in politics. The other one ended up in jail.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's all in how you raised, and like you said, well, kind of like what I was alluding to earlier, like, you know. Because I done met parents, and I'm like, you cuss around your child a lot. You know, and I'm not raising my child to be in, I'm getting my child ready for the world. That's what they say. I'm getting them ready for the world. And I'm like, well, the world you live in shouldn't be the world that they live in. You know what I mean? So, and I get it, you know, on certain aspects, if your kid getting bullied in school.
Yeah, sometimes
you want to teach your child how to pack them up, you know, stop sign, head ass type. You know what I mean? Just start you got to be able to defend yourself on that aspect, but yeah, no, all that's not necessary. The intelligent speaking one will be able to put you down way harder than somebody that can cuss you out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because by the time that intelligent person leaves from putting you down, now you're going to go get a dictionary when you're on Google, like, what did you just call me? You know what I mean? Like, so it's a different dynamic, and that's kind of how I'm raising my children, because all the cursing and you know what I mean, like the beatings and things like that. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get popped for certain things, because you got to know pain exists. You know, like, that's just something we all going to go through as a whole. Nobody can avoid pain. You know, but yeah, whooping your kids for the most smallest things, or you know, or you spill something on the floor, like, yeah, that child's going to have a lot of therapy growing up if you can get it. You know what I mean? Like, and it's needed. You know, but it starts. It starts at home,
and
it starts with us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, going to Morgan, it changed a lot. Like, as a social worker, a black social worker in the making, I took a class called Family Domestic Violence. That class stood out to me a lot, because working with children, they go through these things, like cycles repeating. Like when you mentioned like the spanking, the cussing, like that affects them mentally, especially too, like, say for it's like your dad, like say if you have a bad day, your goal is to try to not put that on your kid, because you don't, you know, that could affect them going to school.
Right.
Like, that's little things too. I noticed too, like even with my students, when I had sessions with them, I'd be like, what's wrong? They'd be like, my mom or something. I'd be like, okay. I'm real big too on breathing, because that's one thing too. We fail to realize we need to breathe to calm ourselves down. That relax too, because sometimes, like, even when I was getting here, I was like, I didn't breathe. I was just, I'm ready to get this
now
done.
My brain got all this pressure up in there. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we gonna breathe. We gonna walk around. We gonna, because, you know, you don't want that to carry the whole day.
Right.
And sometimes I'm the type of person that might hold a grudge, depending on what it is and who it is that
Absolutely.
has made me mad. I'm like, yeah, you made me mad. Now it's going to turn my whole day upside down. It's like, I don't want to do nothing.
Right.
It happened recently, too. I'm like, it can be one thing or one person. Sometimes I could just, you know what I'm saying, too. It's like, oh, you know, your day going too good. Something ain't happening. Then something happened. It's like, hey, I feel like I jinxed it. But that's where also, too, the mental plays a big part when we don't take care of our mental health. Like, I haven't been to counseling, I want to say, since a month. And that's kind of rare. I was supposed to go last week, but I got sick. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Just being able to go to someone, to talk to someone, even for 30 an hour long, just to get those things out, it helps you a lot. Because, like, okay, I feel much better.
Right.
Especially, like, even though mine is through my school, I talk about stuff outside of school because that's where stuff actually gets down and dirty sometimes.
Right, because school is fine.
Like, school, well, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes school, like, between just trying to get these papers done, trying to get these grades, working and trying to live your life is like, oh, I'm just so glad I took myself to counseling, because I think if I haven't, I wouldn't even be in the predicament I'm in now.
Right.
I wouldn't be as calm. Because, like, you know, them crash out moments, we had them times where, like, forget all that. Somebody gonna have to get these custom words, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm not finna cuss you out if you ain't do anything to me. Like, it's pointless.
Yeah, and the big thing that I learned is, you know, your energy is powerful. And you can't give people your energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know, I don't make no friends when I'm on the street. When I'm driving, I ain't making no friends out here.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting people off and brake checking them. But I ain't gonna get to my destination.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm gonna get there as quickly as I want to be there. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not in here to, you know, make friends about it and do all this other stuff. But, you know, when other people, you know, they cut you off, they want to brake check you, get around them, and then you see them all in the window and they yelling and screaming, doing all this, and I just,
Yeah.
bro, I'm not gonna see you 5 minutes from now.
Right.
And I refuse to let a small situation ruin my whole day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and like you said, like, only time I can really get it is when I'm sick. Like, yeah, like, then my daughters might be like, what's wrong? Hey, look, I just need, just please go play in the room. You know what I mean? Because, and I hate to even do that.
Yeah.
You know, they're not supposed to, we superheroes in their eyes. So, you know, they're not supposed to see that down, weak version of us. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's like that NyQuil commercial always stuck with me. You know, parents don't get a day off.
No,
you know what I mean?
Get a day off.
Right, you better pop these pills and keep on pushing, big fella, because, you know, ain't no breaks.
No.
There's no breaks. It's only the goal. It's the finish line.
Nope.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that all gas, no brakes. I be telling myself that too. Even when I work with children that did, I be like, all gas, no brakes, all gas, no brakes. But sometimes you need to brake, because if you had that mental breakdowns are serious. Very serious. And I be telling, like, I'll never forget, I forgot who told me this. I think it was one of my professors. Like, anytime you have a situation, you gotta leave it at the door. Leave it at the door. Like, even when I was working 2 jobs and going to school and start out the podcast, I had days where I'd be coming in, I'd be like, if my mouth don't say it, my face gonna say it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, before I get here, and I say all the time too on the podcast, have that 5, 10, 15, 25 minute mirror conversation or something with yourself to get yourself together, because it's so hard. It's hard. It's hard sometimes to be like, all right, such and such might have made you mad, or something made you mad, and it's like, okay, now you gotta put that face on like nothing ever happened. It's gonna hit. That's why I be like, okay, I take my time. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give you a heads up. I might come in here late or might not feel it, but we're gonna get it together.
Right. No, and that's funny you said that, because that's something I learned. I mean, years ago I heard that saying, and it was working in restaurants. You know what I mean? But I was bartending for years, and that's the thing. You know, you only gonna make as much money as you
allow yourself
to. You know, so and I had an old manager who said, "Look, you see this door frame right here? Because you know everybody coming in the back door." He said, "This door frame is magic. It'll wipe your mind. So if you come in, you got any problems before you get in here, you know what I mean? Like, when you step through this, all that go away. Because at the end of the day, how you gonna make money?
Right.
Your whole lifestyle is dependent on your tips. You know, so yeah, you gotta be friendly with these folks. You gotta be able to communicate with people and talk to them right, and not show that you having the worst day of your life. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, what you come to work for? You ain't gonna make no money.
And empathy too. Like I learned within social work and human counseling world, empathy is a big thing. Like you got to put yourself in their shoes too.
Right.
Because imagine if you was in a situation, like especially with children, you got to put yourself in their shoes, even if you haven't been in there before. But I feel like most situations that I come across during school hours, I've been in their shoes.
Yeah.
I know how it is sometimes. Wake up in the morning, it's like, I don't feel like it today. Come to class, you got this one, you got these group of people making it hard for you to learn and stuff. So it's like, I understand.
Right.
I understand. And then as adults too, it's like certain stuff I can't understand, but I put myself in. Like, I have some classmates that are parents. I'd be like, I don't know how it is to be a parent, but I put myself in your shoes to see how I feel to be a parent, going to school and working. That's a lot on a person.
And I mean, you say you deal with kids, so you kind of, I mean, you know, children, they spend majority of that day, especially during the school year, you see your teachers and your guidance counselors and things like that more than you see your own parents half the time. Especially if they working a full-time job. So you got an idea of, you know, the nurturing that it takes, and
that's
a
big one too.
And that empathy, like you said, because you got to be able to hear them out and see where you can help them in this situation. And I always, any conversation, debate that I have, I always like to play devil's advocate. So I'll look at it from, like, even if I agree with you, you know, like you ever look at it from this perspective? Yeah. And then, you know, we can go back and forth here, and then we can kind of come to a consensus or an understanding of how it works as a whole. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people need that, and a lot of people lack it. Yes. For sure. Yes. Because even to this day, I mean, I love my mother 1,000%. Nobody can ever replace that. Nobody can ever, you know, mess with that love. But even today, it's like, there's certain times when I'm having conversations with her, and she's like, "You alright?" And I'm like, you know what? We should do a group session one of these days, because I'm telling you, that's just not, you know, it's the single mothers. Yeah. You know, for sure. Shout out to all the single moms. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tough job. I'm a single parent myself. So that 24 hours a day, you know, where you just got to make sure that these little ones can eat and have a roof over their head and keep the lights on and all that. It takes a lot. It's a lot of stress on anybody that has to put up with it. But it's something that we need to, as a black community, 100%, I can speak on it. It's something that we need to dig into a little bit more, because our parents need that therapy. You know what I mean? And that's honestly where it starts. I mean, I know how many times I've seen plenty of dudes. My father don't tell me he love me. You know what I mean? I don't get hugs. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't nothing. I get that from my mom. You know what I mean? But every once in a while, you could use that. You know, like, it's neat. Like those, and I'm real big on the little things matter. Right. I don't care how, like, if it's not even an item or nothing, just you showing that you care, appreciation. Like, I'm the type of person, like, my friends or strangers on Instagram and stuff, I give you your flowers, because it's hard to get to where you are. Right. It's real hard. Like, I'll never forget a guy I went to school with. Him and I became really close because he said the podcast helped him with his mental health. And ever since then, he was like, I'm giving you your flowers. 'Cause I'm like, and for me, it was like one of those shocking moments. I'm like, whoa, you giving me my flowers? Because when you're a person that just give it, it's like, you giving it to me? Right. And I'm real big on, like, I don't like the spotlight sometimes. Because it's just like, I notice sometimes when I had a spotlight, somebody take it away from me. And that's why I be like, I don't want nothing to do with it. If it's spotlight here, have it. Like, y'all can have that. But, like, now it's like, wow, people are appreciating you because you appreciate them. Right. And it's crazy. I had even my most recent clients, when I met him, he was in a minivan, probably like 2001 type minivan. He was in the city, you know, and we talked about photography and film and all this other stuff. And he kind of gave me like a short breakdown. Yeah, I'm a barber, you know what I mean? I got 2 barber shops. My wife, she's a hairstylist. She got a salon. you know, this, that, and the third. You know, you're looking at them and you're like, all right, you're in the minivan. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna take it for face value. Hey, dude, I love it. You know what I mean? Here's my card. If you ever need any video or photography, you know, sessions, just let me know. Hit me up. I got you. And then probably like 2 weeks later, he said, hey, can we talk for a little small consultation? I said, where you at? He said, meet me at Fridays. I said, cool. Get up to Fridays. Oh, 2025 Expedition. Platinum version.
Whoa.
Every seat got massage chairs, and I damn near cried because I'm like, I am so proud of you, bro. Like, oh yeah, that's just my city ride. You know what I mean? You can't sit out here and floss in front of all these niggas and you know, expect them to just be humble about it. You know, like I'm humble with mine, so I like to move in silence and, you know, get my things done. I'm like, dude, I'm very impressed and proud of you. And I don't know you from Adam. I just don't even have to mean nothing to you, but I'm very proud of your success, and I like the things that you're doing here. And he said, you know what? I ain't never heard that before. Not from nobody not just from no fellas on the street, you know what I mean? None of my home, you know what I mean? Like, I said, bro, you deserve it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every bit of that. Like, just keep pushing, keep doing whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? And people deserve their flowers. You know what I mean? You got to give them their flowers while they can still smell them. Because they're going to be quick to come out and give you your flowers after you die or some freak accident. Oh, man, he was doing so great. He ain't never seen you. You never supported him. I never seen you comment on nothing. Don't take nothing to share on this stuff. I never seen nothing like that. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden, everybody come out of the woodworks when you dead and gone. And if you need anything, I got you. And of course, that's a lie. You ain't never gonna see him again. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just we gotta be big on. We gotta be big on our mental health and the ones around us. Because we can empower each other. We can be rich. You know what I mean? There's no reason why we shouldn't be, to be completely honest, but that's a topic for another day. You know what I mean? But yeah, but that starting with that mental health and you know, just building each other up mentally. And you know, Baltimore, we real big on making jokes and cracking jokes and all that stuff. And you gotta, I mean, it develops a real tough skin. You know what I mean? So by the time you grow up, you like, man, I'm not really.
Yeah, it's like most stuff, like when you say stuff, like most stuff people say now is like, it is what it is now.
It don't
especially being a female in the city, certain stuff dudes say is just like, really? Okay, I'm gonna let you have that, but okay.
I've been hearing it for years.
Yeah, like, oh, okay. Well, then sometimes too, tough skin. Like, that's a big thing. I have a lot of men in my family, so they taught me how to be tough. They taught me how to play both sides. You got to be a woman and a man. You got to think like a man and all that. So it was like, when I was young, I was like, why do you say that? And then now I'm like, now I see why they told me to pay like this. Because
now you can
like,
see right through them people.
What? It's like, it built me up. It built me up. It took me a long time because like, people be like, oh, you a Cancer, that's why you soft. No, that's just who I am. I'm like, don't put no zodiac on it. It's just who I am.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But now it's like, that helped me to be who I am now, because it, like, back then certain stuff used to just tick me off, and mentally it would have me emotionally like, why is this happening? And now it's like, you know what? Certain stuff I'm numb to, immune and all that, but now it's like, they prepared me for this. Right. So now it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah. And now it's just, at this point, it's like, all right, everything's a test. You know what I mean? Because like we said, when we were younger, I could say when I was 21, I was going to die for anything. You know what I mean? Say something wrong. Yeah. We can scrap it out all day. Nowadays, you take that same mentality, you're going to end up shot. It's not even a game. You ain't going to make it home. You know what I mean? Like, your best bet is to
just leave it alone.
Blind it out, you know what I mean? Don't let it, take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? And just keep pushing. You got to have some type of faith. You know what I mean? I believe in you know, just being spiritual at most, because I feel like that's another thing that affects us. It's just the fact that, you know, people are so evil, and then they want to take you to church on Sunday. You like, okay,
hypocrites. I'd be like,
right, yeah.
Hypocrite, but
yeah, you definitely just got to get your mental together and just, you know, find your own path in life, and everything will work out fine. To be completely honest, it's nothing out here that should be able to phase us, especially knowing what we've been through these last 500-600 years. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't be crashing out. No. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be none of that. We should be able to take everything with a grain of salt and keep striding forward and just keep pushing until we get the success that we yearn and we deserve. Yes. You know, so yeah, that's the whole.
I like that. We can end that. I have nothing to say. You just took that out.
That'll work.
Oh my my gosh, that was I like that. Like to end that off, that was real good. I like that. I really do. Thank you. I thank you so much for taking this time to do this, especially the last minutes.
It's all good.
But I appreciate it a lot. I really, really do. Thank you.
I would have told her with a suit on. Be in here. Come check me out. It's a Small Army Photography. I appreciate you having me on here.
Thank you.
It was last minute. But yeah, I hope to be on again in the future. I know that this show is only going to grow. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I see what you're doing out here. I told you from the moment I met you, I love your vision. I love what you're doing out here. So, just keep pushing forward, and you can't fail.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing.
Thank you. And to end today's episode of Vibe It Out with Guests, I hope you guys enjoyed. I really, really do. This was really, really good. Like for the first time putting this together, because I did appearances, but this one, just having y'all see it and get the visual, this was really dope. So as always, I thank you guys for y'all time. Thank y'all for just vibing out with me and my guests. I wish y'all nothing but the best. Please be safe out here. Be careful, love on one another, love on yourself, take care of yourself, and as always, be nice and just be good to yourself and others. And until then, you guys will see us on next Friday. Bye.
Solid.
Oh. Yes.